Hello, everyone. Welcome to No Money, No Honey. This is Dr. Love, and today I have a doozy for you guys. So I'm going to be honest here. With this one today, this reaction today, I'm a little, what's the word? I'm a little interested to find out about what your thoughts are. But not just that, I'm also concerned that the cancel culture is going to come after me. But let me tell you guys why, right? Um, with this one, it's a little interesting because I'm concerned about the direction of relationships in today's world and what's going to happen. I'm also interested to find out what's the limit that people have as to what they're willing to accept or not accept in relationships. So here we have two young people. We have some coming of age woman or lady and a young man, both in their late teens, early 20s. So they're very, very much into the modern way of doing things. So let's find out more about this story. Let's get into this. So the story says, me, 19 male, recently got into my 6th-7th relationship with an 18 female. So she's 18, he's 19. I was her first boyfriend, and this was her first relationship. We were really both into each other. We connected very well. Everything was going amazing. We had kissed multiple times. Things hadn't gone sexual just yet. We had kissed while dancing, while walking, while doing anything. Things were going like a dream. So far, so good. Sounds like an ideal, young puppy love relationship. 3 weeks into our relationship, at this one party night, we danced and kissed and had fun. Next day, she calls me and asks me to meet her. She brings her friend with her like she is her bodyguard or some shit. They both tell me that I need to slow down, that I need to ask for consent before kissing her on the lips, as it makes her uncomfortable and anxious because she is inexperienced. Kissing anywhere else is okay, hugging is okay, but I need to ask before I kiss on the lips. Let me stop here. For those of you that have watched my videos, and if you haven't, go back and check out the video that I had an interview with a lady by the name of Cece, who said that she had an issue with a relationship she was in because there was a difference between affection and advances, right? According to her statement and the way she posed things or she put things, she mentioned that the guy likes to eat her face. And that was one of the things she didn't like. This sounds very eerily similar to that. This is why. Because when a person gets into a relationship, yes, there are boundaries, right? Meaning you just can't try to do things with your partner if your partner doesn't want to do those things. 100%. Let's make that very clear. You don't have being in a relationship with a person or in a marriage with a person doesn't give you full access to that person's body or that person's mind or any of those things. That person is still an independent individual at the end of the day. They make the decisions as to what they want, and you have to respect those decisions. But in regards to something like this, like kissing, or let's use Cece's words, eat her face, right? This is getting a little ridiculous, people. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be honest with this. When you have a lady that you've been in a relationship with, they've kissed multiple times in multiple situations. They were at a party and they made out. This guy has clearly shown a lot of respect and restraint by only doing the makeout session with this lady. So this is a, make out to the max type of deal, right? There's nothing else, no other type of intimacy except just kissing. And for her to take it this far to bring a friend who acts like a bodyguard to try to now put this guy in his place, there is a whole lot at play here. What you guys are missing is it starts with knowing how far a person can push boundaries, and that person only takes those boundaries further. In this case, this is an intimidation tactic. This lady was fully complacent, or she was fully involved in the act of kissing, only for her to decide next that she no longer wanted to be kissed. And it wasn't even her that decided, clearly it was her friend, because of her inexperience. How do you men expect to have relationships with women if she has to tell you, kiss me now, knowing that most women wouldn't even make that move in the first place? This creates some kind of a scary position where men are afraid to make any advances towards women, any whatsoever. It also creates a situation where women now have to play the role of a man, where they are being forced to make the advances, and most women don't want to make advances. And when a woman doesn't want to make advances and she gives you what is called quote unquote cues, right? Because that's what used to happen in the days before 19-year-old man and his 18-year-old girlfriend were probably around, where people gave each other cues, and based on those cues, you knew if you should make a move or not, right? If she said, are you going to walk me to the door, for example, you automatically knew that you were going to probably have a chance to kiss her if after a date. That could be a second date, your first date, your third date. But she gave you cues that allowed you to know, hey, this lady is interested in me. She didn't have to come out of herself, her feminine nature, and become more of a masculine person by saying, come here and kiss me now. Or come into the house and screw me, please. Women, how do you want relationships to continue? Or how do you intend to even have a relationship when you guys are having this type of ridiculous boundaries? Remember, you guys have full control to sex and to your body. That's completely in your power, in your realm. You make that decision. Nobody else can take that away from you. Anyone who does should be killed. I believe very, very strongly in laws against people who break that kind of a code. But if you have that kind of access, and the man has access to relationships, there has to be a meeting ground where you understand that you don't want to let a person, quote unquote, lead you on using relationship as bait, just the same way you don't want to use your body as bait. Because now what happens is both parties that have control over what they have control over now use that as leverage over the other person. That's the dynamic you start to create over a period of time, because you can make the paradigm shift to making women in control of, in charge of the relationships. This is why 90% of women will not go on one knee to propose to a man. That's not going to happen. 90% of you women out there know you would not get on one knee to propose to a man. So if you know you're not going to get on one knee to propose to a man, then my question is, why do you want to take away everything that a man can potentially do to the point where now you don't have the ability to even get the end result you want? I'm not making this up when I say this. I've had at least 20, maybe 30 women that I've interviewed. You guys can go back and check the tape. It's available. Every single one of them say the same thing. They want to get married. 30 women. That's 100% of women that I've interviewed, even include the lady who was, a trans. They still want to they have the ultimate goal of being married. Modern women want to be married. Traditional women want to be married. So marriage is the commonality, or the common denominator in this point, between a modern woman, a traditional woman, or a hybrid, or whatever they want to call themselves today. And if marriage is the end result, my question is this: how do you expect to get marriage when you are trying so hard to get away from everything that helps you lead to marriage? Let's continue with this and let's see where this goes. The young gentleman says, I do like to clarify here that I've never once forced her to kiss. That's exactly what I thought. He shouldn't ever force her to kiss, right? It was all we were feeling the moment, and we both leaned into the kiss. So she leaned into a kiss, he responded. Do we call that consent? I don't know. Do we now have to sign paperwork to say, I, myself, Dr. Love, hereby consent to allowing you to kiss me on the lips? Sign here, notarize here, sign here, and put the date. And if we don't sign this document, then you don't have any consent to kiss me. My question is, when is common sense going to be common sense? Let's continue. If she didn't want to, she could have given me some hint and I could have backed off. Just like most men would, respectfully back off, because there's nothing more insulting than leaning in for a kiss and getting a slap, or leaning in for a kiss and she looking the other way, especially in a public place. In a private place, I can understand. You take the ego beat and you walk away. But in a public place, especially with someone you're dating, it might be hard to come back from a relationship, right? Or you're going to ask, well, what's wrong? So this is why I said we're borderline ridiculous here, but let's continue. So I was completely taken by surprise by this, just like we thought he would. She even brought her friend to talk on her behalf as if she was somehow scared to talk to me about this. I was completely shocked and felt betrayed. I simply told her I can't continue as I feel betrayed and embarrassed and shocked, and she kind of showed that she doesn't trust me by bringing her friend to talk to me about this. She could have told me that herself, and we could have discussed this. This has never happened to me before. Since then, I'm constantly overthinking that maybe I overreacted. Maybe I should have given her more time to slowly ease into how relationship works. Maybe she brought a friend because she was too shy to tell me that herself, or maybe she was scared of me. What? It just breaking my mind if I did the right thing. I was really into this person and losing her hurt. I don't know what to feel. Well, we have 600 comments here, or 542 comments here, so we're going to get to go into it. But young man, let me start off by giving you some advice here. One is, you have nothing to worry about. This is a young woman who doesn't know what she wants. This is a young woman who still needs to mature, who is very much childish. So she's going to respond in a childish manner. Secondly, you didn't do anything wrong. And most importantly, this is what makes a lot of men scared of today's society. Let's go into the comments. A few people said this. If she's too shy to talk to you about kissing, she's too shy to talk about sex, and she's too shy to be dating right now. She can't use a buffer for every uncomfortable feeling she is. And if she had a friend because she's afraid of how you react and needs a friend to talk to you, she shouldn't be dating you. 100% agree. I appreciate you being very honest about this, because exactly how it should be. There's no reason for you to be in a relationship with a childish person who doesn't have the ability to communicate with you. The second one also says this. It says, that's a really good point about the talking. Also, if she was allowing him to kiss her, if she was unsure, then there's a whole nother bag of trouble waiting at the end of this rainbow. 100% agree. Stay away, young man. Run. Run for the hills. Avoid it like a plague. This should be worse than the bubonic plague to you. Run as fast as you can. Another one here says, I'm speculating here. I haven't met her, but this sounds like some kind of big hang-up inside her head that you didn't cause. The longer I think about it, the more I think that breaking up was the right move. If she was not able to voice discomfort without help, it's not safe for either of you if you date her. That's correct. Correct. And the last one I'm going to read is this. It says 1,000 on this, especially it's not safe for you to date her. So the person responded to the person who said it's not safe to date her. She got some stuff going on from a mental health stance, and you can end up of an unfair and unwarranted accusation that could damage your life. And I'm sorry this happened to you, but trust your gut and stay broken up. Young man, that's exactly what I'm saying. There's very harsh penalties for young men that make bad decisions. And sometimes they don't really even make those bad decisions and they still end up being in a bad position. There's plenty of young men that have been wrongly accused and falsely accused. There's even documentaries and movies about that. We've had a football player who had a chance to make it to the NFL and his dreams got destroyed because the courts decided to take a side of a person that had no credibility whatsoever and even admittedly lied later on. You know what happened to the lady who lied? Nothing. You know what happened to the man she lied on? He spent years in jail. The laws are very one-sided here. The laws do not protect men. Men, you are not protected in any way. So you have to know how to protect yourself, or you would be forced to look at the end of a barrel, or you will be forced to be in a position where you would end up just being stuck in a jail cell for a long period of time, and you come out and your life is ruined. So folks, men, avoid this like a plague. Avoid women like this like a plague. Be smart. Be smart. Look out for yourself. Protect yourself at all times. Protect your seed at all times. Protect yourself at all times. This is Dr. Love with No Money, No Honey, and I'm signing out. Peace.